snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nanny. Well, here we go. I didn't see you dancing that time when I was going on. You're sitting there quietly in the background. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to another week with us at Trackside with Cockpit. It's shed night where we just kick back, relax, talk about a few things, but it's all brought to you by our good friends at Vasey Engineering and Supplies. Also, our good mate Lala Technical Welding Services. And, of course, our good mate, Mike at Repco, and, of course, Total Property Maintenance, always supporting us as well. We're putting a spot there each week of a different people that support us, kids, and support our show. So we just want to acknowledge them, don't we, mate?
100% books, and what a weekend it was last weekend, wherever you were in the country getting your speedway fix, whatever form that was. Obviously, there were some that didn't for certain reasons. This weekend doesn't look any brighter in some places with their wet weather on the way, mate. But I had a good Easter weekend. I had a quiet Easter weekend. I didn't see any racing at all, which was something completely different for me. I didn't get to go to Huntly to commentate the go-karts. So I stayed away and just had some quality family time, mate.
Probably eating all your lollies, eh? We know what kids is like with his lollies. Not like me, mate. I was jet-setting everywhere. Far out. Jason from the pits called me up, and I went down to Christchurch and did the modified invasion there, which was absolutely freaking awesome. And the best part of that for me was just to see how big the crowd was. Kids, just fantastic crowd in at Woodford Glen on Friday night. And then for Saturday morning, I got up and I flew back, come back to Miami and watched our Easter East Coast champs for all the meetings. So, and man, that was full on too. Those that watched, I streamed it for you off my phone that night. And that's right. Speaking of phone,
who's messaging? Can they hear us? Are we going through all right?
Ammaron. Get a move on. Useless. It was another good night at Miami too, mate. But look, we had a week's break, right? And I just want to say the Wanganui Superstock Teams Invasion was so successful. It was such great. And those that bought the stream or those that went and put their backside trackside, as we say, mate, were they treated to a great event. And I've heard that next year there's more teams want to go now after seeing it. Very, very successful weekend. Another successful weekend for the Giants, obviously. We didn't have them on last week on Do a Show because, well, we've had them on that much because they keep winning, kids. It's just a repetitive thing we don't need to do, isn't it?
No, you're right, Books. I think you can see it all over social media. So many people have put so many TikTok videos on TikTok these days. You can just about watch the whole show from TikTok or any social media platform. But I think overall, I think everyone's kind of realizing there's only weeks away before the season wraps up, and that'll be this season done and dusted. Then we'll talk about off-season. I've got a lot of questions being asked towards me. What are you guys doing in the off-season? Well, we're just going to take 1 week at a time. And I actually quite enjoyed having last Wednesday off to spend some family time. And I'm pretty busy in my own little world, running around here and there and everywhere. But otherwise, I really enjoyed it. And I know you enjoyed yourself down there in the South Island recently. I've got to say, seeing all the videos and the photo footage of the crowd that turned up at Woodford Glen, mate, that was huge.
It was outstanding. Seriously, It was really, really good to see. And that's what we love the most, mate. It just, that backside trackside, that's what makes, because that's what we try and encourage. If you can make it to the track, then go to the track, because at the end of the day, you're supporting your home track and you're supporting keeping the track going. They need you through the gate to survive. It's that simple. So, and I get that if you're not, you stream it, and that's a good idea. But if you live in the same town, you should be at the track. Like I was doing that stream for me on Saturday night, and some lady commented, this is good, way better than going there. And she lived in Hastings, for God's sakes. You know, it's like, seriously,
what?
You know, like that. And that disappoints me when I'm doing a stream like that. And I see that because I think to myself, why not just go? You know, like I get it, it's expensive and we all have stuff and that. But yeah, I mean, like I wasn't planning to stream anything. I was just going to go and watch it. And I thought, oh, I'll do a couple of races off my phone. I thought, oh, no, I'll do the whole bloody thing, you know, and no big deal. And it's just, you know, but that's what I thought to myself, man, I feel like just turning the stream off now, you know, because we really want people to just go to the tracks, but because the tracks rely on the crowd coming the gate, you know, and me and you've talked about it often enough about just how much it costs these tracks to run a meeting. It's not cheap. You know, you're 20, 30 grand to run a one night meeting to put on for us, the fans. And you can't keep doing that if we don't go through the gate, you know? So, well, that's what I'm saying. Just, get yourselves in the gate and enjoy it. Cause, it's freaking awesome. I had an awesome time, mate. It was just, I had fun at Woodford Glen, had fun at Miani, just sitting there. And the other thing about Miani was, it was the first time this season where I was there with all my grandkids and my daughter and family, you know. So, and how much better does it make kids when you're there with your grandkiddies and your family, you know? I mean, you just can't, that's what Speedway's about, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You're right. You know, hence the reason why it was a bit different for me at the big teams in February that we normally go to. My grandson's normally alongside our family, and you're 100% right. With family and children, that you can't beat it. You know, it's what we do and what we enjoy. And I know you had a wonderful time there, and I know you've been loving the open wheel class, and I know we're both big fans of modifieds, and the Invasion turned it on. And for many reasons, it was a good show. And we've seen so much video footage of all sorts of things, incidents, accidents, mate, and all that type of stuff. But, you know.
I'll tell you another thing that was good for me to see too. Like it was good to see, we've got Luke coming on shortly, but good to see him just showing some real form, you know, the Luke Keegan that we remember. And the other thing I liked was the way that other competitors rallied around Brad to try and get his car back on the track. Seriously, he would have been 5 minutes and he would have been on the track, you know. And for me, I think he fucking flip. I swore then, that's terrible of me. I thought to myself, he's going to make it because the stock cars are out next. They're doing a shootout and there'll be some carnage and, you know, and it went straight through. I was like, oh, the one time you want the stock cars to cause carnage, you know. But that was unfortunate. But Brad, as always, Kins, you know what he's like, mate. You know, he's completely written his car off, but he's not in a bad mood, you know. You looked happy in the club rooms. But I did look happy in the club rooms. I was having a couple of quiet ales there at the at Woodford Glen and Miani. It would have been rude not to be fair, Kins. But look, what we got coming up this weekend, mate. You got a
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. There you go. There you go. So you've got a couple of tracks getting underway this Friday. Obviously, Awapuni, Ruapuna. And what do we got on Saturday? Well, Waikaraka Park. I'll leave it at that. Hopefully. Huntley, not happening. That's been rained off. It's like a swimming pool there at the moment. Had some pretty bad weather up around the area. Gizzy with the second night. Stratty, Palmy, North Wellington, Greymouth, Ruapuna with their second night. Then you got Sunday, Rosebank, and Ocean View. And I think it is a little Waharo track. Might have something, but there's this thing called a cyclone apparently arriving. So things might change, mate. Things might change. Just keep an eye on the Speedway Tracks Facebook page. I'll keep you up to date.
I just saw a comment come up from our books. It was Jason that moved your jack. I can't get anyone to admit it. Someone took the jack out front of my camper. It holds my bloody camper up at night while I sleep. It seems funny. The people that I think would do it, that'll be their sort of joke, go, no, we would have told you the next day because we've heard it funny, which is probably true as well. So I probably will never know whatever happened, mate. But look, just like this weekend we say, it's get amongst it, especially if you're in the Gisborne area. They have had one hell of a year with rainouts, Akins, you know. Yeah. So look, if you're in that area, go put your backside trackside at Apere Speedway, Gisborne, because they need your support. They run a good meeting. They're a great club. Absolutely, they're a bloody fantastic club, to be fair, Kins. So if you're there in that area, in that Gisborne area, please get your backside, trackside, go and support them, show them your support. They got super stocks there. They got all the boys, the Rees boys, Josh Prentice, all those guys are there. They'll put on a hell of a show, and you got stock cars. I mean, you just got everything, and it will be a great meeting there. So I just can't. Yeah, they've just had a bad run, Kins, haven't they? Those guys at Apere Speedway, so many rainouts. They've had so much rain. They're like you. We are in Poro. There's so much bloody rain for you guys.
We got rain everywhere.
I only got to catch up with Robbie once this season. This was his last season. We might have to have a catch up with Robbie because he's calling it quits after the season. I assume he's still doing that, Kins. But
we'll do a maybe special. We'll do a maybe special with him. But him and the boys and everything like that. It'd be good to catch a Rob because he's done a lot for both of us in our show, and we need to give that respect back to him and show him.
And he's helped a lot of people too.
Hard out. So
like, people that turn up and use his workshop there in Rotorua and yeah.
Well, it's a lot of teams that we've interviewed over the years. You see the name, his company name on Associated, and that's down south, up and down the country. So it'll be worth catching up with him. No doubt when you fly up to be part of the team's nationals up in Auckland, Robbie will be around so we can catch up there. But when you want to, when you want to play your video, mate.
Specials aren't all. I'm still flying up there, so Robbie, you might as well come up for a beer.
When do you want to play your video later on, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we'll get that now. So we've got a bit of a courtesy of the Pits TV. He gives us a highlights package when he's not too busy, which is good for you to see. So we've got a highlights package to play for Woodford Glen this weekend. So sit back, put your feet up, open your can of drink, eat your popcorn, and here's a quick 3 minutes of some highlights from the weekend.
Right, go ahead.
Oh, there we go, Kins, eh? How about that, mate? Those Doobie boys are giving it too. I haven't seen one like that for a while, but holy snap and duck shit, that was good fun. But I will tell Luke when he comes on, he needs to get those donuts a bit better, eh, mate? You know, like he's obviously haven't done them in a while. So, but mate, I just want to also say I had a thought while I was watching that I've lost it now. Look at that.
Chain of thought. You lost your chain of thought.
I did. I got so excited about everything. That's what I was going to say. It was awesome to see. There's a lot of stock cars. If you look at that video, there's a couple of them with their wheel gates were painted orange with a lightning McQueen lightning through it.
Yeah.
Remembrance of Simon 7D. I've forgotten his name. Oh man,
Paul Simon. Paul Simon.
So yeah, Paul. Yeah. Passing away too, which was very tragic. So our thoughts are with the family, and we hope you're doing okay as well, Kins, eh?
Oh, definitely. You know, it's been a rough last few weeks, I would guess, for them. And I watched some of that live stream a couple of weeks back as well. And like many did at the moment. And I see Ian Wilson's jumped into the chat. Just want to send a big shout out to his young man, Jack, picking up the feature win as well in his TQ. And we'll catch up sometime soon. And one very, very happy family. But, mate, we've got a lot to get through. Obviously, you've enjoyed yourself down in the south. What do you got planned Speedway-wise this weekend coming up? Anything planned for you? This
weekend's a weekend off for me, to be fair, mate. And then I'm Autumn Nats the following weekend in Napier with Jason, the team. We'll be streaming the Autumn Nationals. And good field of super stocks and stock cars and everything there for that as well. That'll be well worth going to and watching, or if you can't get there, Pitt's TV stream. And then after that, it's Waikareka teams, as we talked before. I see Robbie maybe said deal booker, so we must be going to having a beer or something when we get to Auckland. So that sounds like a plan to me.
Might be dinner as well, mate. Might be dinner on the Thursday as well.
Yeah, well, I'm flying up, so Paul Vasey's going to pick me up and put me up. So yeah, I'm flying up. Cheaper to fly than drive.
yeah, trust me, you're right. Who are we bringing up first, mate?
Well, we're going to have Luke. Let's get Luke Keegan in there. Our winner from the weekend at Woodford Glen, first place. Look at that. He battled with Dan Ray, and of course Jason there too. So look at that. That car's looking sharp. But yeah, it was good to see Luke. Here he is. Hey, Luke, how are you, bud?
Hey, boys, how you going?
Good.
We're good, mate. Hey, thanks for being patient and listening to us talk about a crap for a little while, but you got to enjoy the video. And he asked it pretty well straight up there, Luke. What's going on with the donuts, mate? Come on.
I haven't done it in a while. I couldn't get it this year. And then it started turning the other way. So yeah, I did my best at the time, but it wasn't my
Well, the easiest way to fix that is just win more heats, more races, so you have to do them, eh? You see?
Yeah,
simple fix.
The car wasn't set up to do donuts. It was set up to win races.
Yeah, well, that's right too. Yes.
That it was, from what I heard in the feature race and everything, overall on the racing. Like I heard you were carving through the little gates, mate. You're pretty well on rails come that big race, eh?
Yeah, we got the car real nice, and everyone was sort of saying afterwards, you got through traffic good, and I think like anyone will know, like when the cars feels as good as that it did that night, everything slows down a bit, and it just it's not that it's easy, but it's when you got a good car, it just seems to all just flow, and then that flows on to getting good passes and gaps opening up, and it just sort of all just works together.
What's your approach? Like, you guys come up to those back markets probably a lot quicker than I expected you to be fair. How do you what goes through your mind when you come up behind them? Because you don't have mirrors, you don't know how close that car that's in second is behind you. Do you think to yourself, I've got to take my time, and you think I've got to get past them as quick as possible? What goes through your head when you come up behind those back markers?
Yeah, it's a tough one because Dan was obviously really fast, and he's been the man to beat. So I didn't want to give him a chance to get back past us in traffic. So I knew as soon as we got through, by him, that I wasn't going to be held up, and so I needed to make it happen pretty fast. And luckily they sort of the lappers were stretched out a little bit, so you got a bit of time to sort of look in front of you and see what they were doing. And there was a couple of guys, a couple of times I come up on guys that were actually racing, with each other and going pretty well. So it makes it even harder. But you just try and see what they're doing and you just got to put it where they aren't. And again, it comes down to when your car is really nice, you can take those gaps when they come. And so when they opened up, I just made sure I was in a position to take it, and luckily we could put the thing on the pole line or go high and just make anything work. So it's sort of just again, when you've got a good car, it just sort of everything seems to go your way more often.
So how good is it, Luke? And I know there's just a handful of North Island guys come down. Obviously, we saw one do a bit of a flip roll there, got repeated multiple times, but I know Barry Hunter was there, Newton Gorge was there. How good is it to host down in Christchurch? Some of the Northerners come down, especially the current one in Z, and how welcoming is it? It'd be good to have them there.
Oh, it's always good when for years, especially, when we first started in the class, we traveled a lot. We'd go to Auckland all the time. And at that stage, I was racing with Brad's dad, Scotty, and we'd go there to Stratford and Auckland and Wellington, because that's where the good guys were running. Foxy and Jacko and all these guys, and so we travelled a lot. And it was a big part of, I think, why we went well in the classes. We had to travel to race the fastest guys. So having those guys come down. Brad is such cool guys, such a great family, and so supportive. They come down. I think they did they were planning to do like 5 meetings, 3 weekends of racing, and they love their motorsport, and having those guys come down, and then obviously Newt as well, and there was a few other guys that came down that didn't actually make the meeting as well, so there would have been a few extras, but so it's not the same when you don't get those guys travelling. It sort of makes it what it is, and luckily, we're really lucky with Glen. It's a great speedway. They put on a good event, and they look after the travellers too. So I think that they make sure they accommodate them, and they want to get them back year on year. And I know the lanes have always supported the invasion, and it wouldn't be quite the same if those guys were down here, getting amongst it.
Yeah, what I like about it too is I know they're heading back down there with go-karts this time as well. I see it's on their Facebook page, and they're ready to roll on down there. I know the Maybes are heading down there. It's Paul Maybe, by the way, but to have them there just to race must be an opportunity, especially for the likes of them doing that travel. I think they got a taste of it when they did the Rees tour as well. You take a look at that, because they did the whole travel. They knew what they were in for. And when you take a look at the likes of Barry Hunter, and Booker would know this, he was down there with them. And I know Baz went back down there, bought a new car while he was down there, from down in the South Island, brought it back up to Huntley, done a few laps there, but jumped back on the boat, crossed the strait, and wanted to go racing. It's just a good bloody vibe down to the South Island, considering there's some big numbers down there in modifieds.
Yeah, especially Christchurch and Greymouth. We're pretty lucky, and it's really the two tracks that run the modified. You've got Blenheim Run sometimes, and obviously we had a sort of a invitation thing in Dunedin as well. But Ian White does a lot for the class in the on the coast, and it's really thanks to him and some of the Parkies and Tomos and these guys that really support the class over on the coast. And then Christchurch has always been a reasonably sort of good fields and modifieds, and it goes up and down like anything does. But at the moment, we can have 15 local cars on a club night, which is great.
That must help you too, I'd say. Having a good field of cars on a club night must help you with your racecraft so much better, because that puts that traffic into perspective as well. When you're racing against 4 or 5 modifieds that some tracks have to do, it doesn't sharpen your skills, does it? The more cars you got to race, that must really sharpen your skills as the season goes on. But what I really wanted to ask you was, Luke, how do you like racing being at Dunedin? Everybody's talking about it. Look, it was a hell of a show apparently for you guys.
Yeah, obviously unfortunate what happened down there. We were down there that weekend, and Braith Kalen had put a lot of effort into sort of getting a meeting going down there, and credit to him, he'd done a great job, and really got some good sponsors on board, and did some different stuff for the format, a bit of a qualifying thing, and they had some money for different things, and prizes and boards and stuff, and it was really cool. It was we wanted to support it. I know there's a bit of talk at the moment about tracks that don't really have that class actually running very often, doing promo things and really supporting the other classes that do. But the modifieds don't run a lot of places in the south, and Dunedin did used to race them. And we've run down there before. I actually run last time I was down there, we ran a super saloon down there, and then a sprint car a couple of times before that. And it's a cool track, plenty of banking, nice and even. We knew it'd be on the gas, and we knew it'd be a good chance to have a race with Brad. Unfortunately, just the way it worked out, we never really got to have too much of a good tussle with him. But it's just a cool track, banking, fast. It's just sort of a bit of a driver's track, and we were keen to get down there and support the event with, especially with Braith putting the effort in.
Yeah, definitely.
The class is really benefiting, from my understanding, from Brave's work that he's putting behind the scenes, isn't it? He's just organising so much for your class, north and south.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah, they're big supporters, the Kalins, and the family's great. They're good guys, and they definitely put the effort in up in the north as well. But obviously, Braith and Jason, Ian White, obviously all get on pretty well. So they've been running some of his cars. Obviously, Jace running Ian White's car at the Evasion and a few of the other meetings. I think Braith's obviously he's working down those ways somewhere, so he's got some sort of tie up with Dunedin Speedway, obviously, and that's sort of one of the reasons he put it on. So yeah, it's cool. It's good to see some younger guys get into a bit of promotion stuff, which is cool. And obviously we had Kane Botherway. He did a bit of a thing here at Ellesmere as well, one of our other tracks, and that was cool. He sort of put a bit of effort into some promo and looking after that event as well. So it's really cool. I suppose it's what it's going to take to just keep the class strong and make sure we've got those numbers there consistently.
What I like about this, and we touched on your craft in there, and I'll just go back to Wayne Otten's comment here, old school big body car on the podium, because up in the north, there's not a lot of the big body cars. And I remember we interviewed Dan Ray when he got the 2NZ and so forth. It's a big challenge, the big body cars on tracks like the Glen and everything like that. It crafts your skill to maneuver the car around the outside. Like you say, if you're on the pace, you can go down the inside. But man, with the smaller, shorter car base up in the north, I would guess it's a bit tougher with the big body cars trying to maneuver it all around.
Oh, I'm diehard big body all the way, the old man, his best mate, John Lovelady, he was that they run big bodies, and honestly, mate, I wouldn't run anything else. So I love it. I think they've got this year actually. Obviously John's previously been around to build all the cars, but without him here, this is the first year I actually rebuilt our body this year and put a whole new body on it. So after that, I realised how much effort actually goes in. When we're putting pressure on these engine build, on John to build bodies and bits and pieces, and wondering why it's taking so long. I now have a first-hand knowledge of what effort goes into them. I think there's some advantage to the big bodies, no matter where you go, just with the hero of them. How much of an advantage, who knows? But I think they definitely have got a place, and they look cool. I mean, the only problem is once you get them upside down or something, they're a nightmare to put back together. I'd never go to a small body, so I just put up.
Oh, it was the sexiest modified I seen back in the 90s when I seen the 34C turn up with a Bedford van towing it with the big trailer and Rotorua back in the 90s. I thought to myself, man, that was one of the coolest things I'd seen when your dad come out.
That trailer, that Bedford colour scheme, and the beautiful, obviously they presented a wicked car though, Lovelady and Dad, and that was a really cool rig, that deal.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing going around book cycles because we've got a big photo of it. I still got a big one.
Because they travelled to Rotorua a lot too. They did a lot of travelling up that way, and Rotorua obviously was really strong modifieds. Yeah. So I think Dad actually got a 2NZ.
Yes, correct. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, like you say, you had to come and race with the best back then. In those days, it was the Gorge and Bertram show, and if you wanted to be up there with the top tier or the more, because they had massive numbers back over those days. Super Dirt Cup used to run over 2 days back in the day, but it's just the way it used to be, and hey, it's just good. I'm a big fan of the big bodies. I got to say it. I love the big bodies. I'm
liking Thompson's car. Sharp, that clean white and black and the little Triumph body on it. Triumph Anglia body, not Triumph. God, I quite like the look of that too. It's just, I don't know. I mean, when we started playing online, I used to race the big body car all the time, didn't I? It was old Muzzy Gorge. So, and everyone else on the little ones. But it's interesting. But I just think you've got to have that difference across there, don't you, Luke? I mean, if you don't want to be the same as everybody, and it just brings a bit more to the class, and it attracts different people that like different looks.
Yep, it's one of the good things about the class, like you're saying, is you can have a bit of artistic input into how they look, and Obviously with the Anglia body, and which Foxy had one of those as well. There's a few guys who different other style, hot rod style bodies and different versions of the big body, and you can just put your stamp on it. And so whether how much advantage it has, who knows really. Hard to quantify, but you can at least just throw your stamp on it and just do something a little different.
Yeah. 100%.
So after the first race, there's quite a few people after the first heat on Friday night that got thrown a bit by the track. They didn't expect it to be how it was. Did it throw you a bit as well out there, Luke? Were you like come back sort of scratching your head a little bit, not expect it because it looked different? They must have thought it looked different to what it was once they got out there.
Yeah, it was pretty dry and slick pretty quickly. And luckily we weren't in the first heat. We were in the second heat up. I think we went up till like race 10. And that first heat was race 5. So we saw what it was doing already. And then after watching that first heat, we made quite a few changes because it was pretty dry and slick already. So we were pretty well over it. Just the way it fell with the heats, we were able to keep a good eye on it.
Yeah, a lot of drivers came back in, Kins, and I was talking to them and they're just like, wow, that was a lot slicker than we thought it was going to be. And because did it grip up as the night went on? Is that temperature drop? Did it come back or did it just stay the same?
I had someone talking about it today saying it looked like it took rubber, but with our cars, they've got the harder tyre rule, and I don't think they lay rubber down maybe like the sprint cars or super saloons do, but it stayed pretty much the same. I think it really didn't have much of a top line. I think it seemed to be in the feature anyway that once we sort of blew some of the dust off it, it had some traction, but it was pretty black and pretty slick, but it didn't offer up a lot. And usually Woodford will have some sort of high line, and you'll get guys, obviously Brad loves getting up there, and Kane as well, but there just really wasn't much to be had up there, so it was a bit tricky.
And what about your season, mate, to date? You've been happy with it? I mean, is this your first season back in a while, wouldn't it? Am I right there, or is this your second season back?
Yeah, this is second season in this car, so we didn't race last season. We had a season off. We raced a season before that in this car, and then before that we'd done a little bit in a super saloon, and then it'd been a while since we raced actually a full season, which was back when we had the sprint car quite a few years ago. This year that we bought the car and then did a season in it, and then during the off season or the season in between, we tore it apart and changed a lot of stuff with it. And then back out full into the season, and it's been we've had a blinder of a season really. I mean, New Zealand title. I mean, we went up to the Tama Memorial in Wellington a couple of weeks before the title and had a really good run up there and got a good feel for the track. But then New Zealand title, you just know it's like, you just never know what you're going to get come New Zealand title. And we had a bit of we had some unfortunate, just some bad luck. One of the heats got caught up in someone else's stuff and then rallied back to, I think, started 7th in the feature, but then just got involved in something on the first lap that sort of put us out. So, but apart from that, I mean, we came back. The ones we come back to Christchurch, we won the thing at Ellesmere, Canterbury Champs, South Island title. We pretty much, apart from the title, had a dream run really.
Right.
Should we bring Jason books?
Bring Joe. See if he wants to ask Luke something.
Yeah, he's sitting there looking like he's nearly asleep. Look, I woke him up.
Sorry, I'm a bit knackered after mowing the lawns. Actually, I decided the old petrol's a bit bloody dear these days, so I chuck some vodka in it, and the old lawns are only half cut, eh?
What the hell?
Okay, get rid of him now.
It's awesome to watch. We spoke earlier on. Luke, was just incredible. Your drive, especially that feature race, man, it was just the next level stuff. And the way you sliced up. And we've seen in that highlights package how you split the two cars right up the middle of it, eh? Must have been a bit of a puckering moment, but you managed to get there okay, eh?
Yeah. Just like I said before, it just when you got a good car, it seems to fall your way, and it was the car, I could put it anywhere. I could just run it anywhere I want, and nothing felt like it was a problem or hard or dodgy. So just a good deal.
As I said to you, you're going around earlier on in the pit saying that the car was a bag of crap and you still hadn't got the track right, and then you just went out there and nailed it. Absolutely.
I didn't say it was a bag of crap, but it's been decent. It's been decent all year. I've got high expectations of how we want to run, and we weren't the fastest. Dan was beating us, and we had Tomo and that. We were right there. But it's I've got pretty high expectations of what we want to do, and we're there to have fun with the family and catch up for a beer afterwards. But I'm not there to run second or third either, So it's but we tried a couple of different things. Nothing really different, but just a different sort of combination on the weekend. And it just was like just a total different car from the first heat, which was still good. But then come second heat, it was just like, man, yeah, we've got a car that we can actually genuinely win this,
Why didn't you do that New Zealand title, man?
We did. Car was mint, the New Zealand title, just got into crashes.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because watching it was like, it looked like Dan Ray was the car to beat all night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so Luke was just sort of like he was just a sleeper, the car was a sleeper sitting there, and then came out in that last one, and it was all about him and Dan. But once he got past, there was no looking back. Yeah, no looking back.
Run and hide in traffic, that's the key.
Jace, how good was it?
Dan's been really good, and I knew in that second heat, once we sort of got up behind him, or got into second, I was like, oh yeah, we've got. I think we've got something for him in the feature, and he whipped us in the pole shuffle, and good on him. But but I knew we had a good car. I knew it might take a couple of laps just to come on. I thought he might be a little better to start with, and he probably was. But once we sort of managed to get through him in traffic, it's just like you got to run it high days because you can't muck around. You got to get it done because as soon as I muck around, then he'll get past me, and you just got to get into it.
That track, though, was so evolving throughout the whole night. I mean, I remember watching the first race and you couldn't see anything for dust. And then in that last heat, I think the track got better and better as the night got cooler and cooler, didn't it? I mean, they obviously didn't pump enough water into it to start with, and then it got it kind of right as the meeting got on. So did that help you quite a bit?
Yeah, it did. What it seemed like happened is it seemed like for a couple of laps it had some moisture through the sort of middle. And then, but it was like the rest of the track was just a bit dusty or something. And once we actually threw all the dust and the loose stuff off the track and off the bottom line, yes, it's actually got better. Yeah, I don't know if it actually got any better, but I think we just cleaned the track off a bit. And it seemed like a pretty good pace. Whether it was getting a bit of rubber down or something, hard to tell. It was pretty black.
Jay should be in a meeting and said that track obviously in Christchurch. Good crowd. I saw the photos on the social media. They'd be pretty happy with the crowd. Steve Lind and the team.
Well, I think it was a nice surprise, actually. I don't think they would have probably got that many if they had run it over the 2 nights. I think it's probably quite notable now that people are actually struggling to afford to even go to meetings like that. So I think it was a very, very good decision. And obviously it rained on the Saturday as they predicted it would, but it was a very good decision to move it all into one night. And I think that really made the show. I don't think they would have got the same crowd had they done it the other way. I just kind of think that was the right move. And I think it was a genius move. There's a couple of people that are a bit upset about it. More so a couple of those North Island guys, for obvious reasons. They've come a long way to race, but then isn't it good to get a result, than have it raining off. So Steve's, everybody's stoked the whole, that was a good way to finish the season. And as Books alluded to, it costs Woodford Glen $30,000 plus to run a meeting, just an average meeting, even a club night. So to be able to get, some sort of return that large, let's be honest, the Battle of Stocks wasn't exactly the most fantastic crowd for them. That really does help them, sleep a bit better in the off season, that's for sure. So, good on them, I say.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's the most important thing. That's why we can't emphasize enough to people. If you live in the town, then go to the track. It's I mean, Jason would say the same thing, and he's a streaming company. It's he's there for those that aren't local that can't make it to the track. Those.
Remember the days, Books, back when there was COVID and they were going to meetings where there was no crowd, and when there's no crowd, there's no atmosphere. You can't replicate a meeting. I'd rather, my vision of how we stream is to complement the amount of people that are already there, not to take over or take bums off seats, and that's why we're very picky and choosy about what meetings we cover anymore. And you would have seen over the years, we've reduced the amount of smaller meetings to be able to make sure they get the maximum amount of people there, and we try and chase the bigger meetings, which we know are going to have a good crowd. And of course now we've got Luke Keegan, the superstar. He's going to attract more people now. So we'll have to follow him around for the next 2 years.
It's quite ironic that I look at you, Luke, and I think to myself, okay, you look like another guy who's also won a 1NZ Super Saloon. It must be the trait to go. Hey, Books, I think he jumps into another class.
You become a winner, right?
Luke looks like he sneezed and his hair slipped down to his face, whereas Chris Kelly
Yeah, I don't know. If you're asking me if I'm going to get into Super Saloons and win a title, no chance. Yeah, I remember those things, and oh mate, yeah, not my favourite thing to drive. That's for sure. They're not that easy, and yeah, no, I don't think I'd be getting. No, modifieds is good. It's a nice sort of combination of between a sprint car and a super saloon. I guess they got that feel of a single seater, but they're not.
We've got to remember, you've also raced a sprint car before too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously you've come back to the midget. So what they say about sprint cars are obviously a lot more expensive to race than what a modified is. So you get a bit more value for money out of the modified. Would that be a good statement?
Yeah, totally. I mean, no doubt sprint cars are they're the bee's knees. I mean, those things are pretty wicked to drive. I mean, but you got to have a lot more money, a lot more time, a lot more support, and you got to be able to get into it. The guys that are running those it's competitive. Those guys are hella fast, even in New Zealand, and you got to be able to just get into it and without thinking about it. And the modifieds are definitely a bit cheaper, a bit lazier, a bit easier, a bit more low key, but they've got probably 80 or 90% of the fun as well. So modifieds are definitely a good easier middle ground than compared to like the sprint cars.
So Luke, do you do anything else besides Speedway, mate? What do you do in the off season? Are you on the shed all the time, or is it family time? Do you do any sports or cycling, or what does Luke Keegan get up to when he's not racing race cars?
Yeah, I mean, usually, I've got the families getting bigger and bigger, so that sort of takes a lot of my time, especially in the off season. I mean, we try to this year. The season's actually it seems to have dragged out real long. It started with a hiss and a bang, and then we had a bunch of sort of gaps in the middle, and now we've sort of been racing every weekend for the last sort of feels like 3 months. So it's been pretty busy into the season. So you don't get a lot of time for any other. I mean, I was always into the CrossFit. One of our CrossFit X-Force CrossFit was one of our sponsors, and it's where my wife goes, and I was always into that as well. But I just don't get the same amount of time now with trying to go racing and looking after family, and you got to fit some work in at some point as well. So it's luckily I've got Dad and our Pegasus posse, my dad and Colin, our crew guys that do most of the work on the car through the week and get it ready to go. And honestly, that's probably one of the keys to us being so consistent is those guys in the shed during the week putting the effort in. I make sure it's cleaned up for them, and they do all the hard work during the week to get it to the track. So there's not much time for anything else, to be fair. And after the season, we get to have a bit of a rest,
So does the wife kick your ass at CrossFit, mate?
Oh, she's a beast, man. She's way outlift me. She's super strong. Yeah, now, you wouldn't want to miss that either. She goes real good. She's right into it. It's one of her things for sure. And she's competed before and won some titles in CrossFit. So she's got the competitive nature as well. So she knows what it's all about.
Yeah. Awesome. Will she ever jump behind the wheel in your modified?
I don't know, because I mean they used to always do the like a ladies race and things like that.
Yes,
crew have a go days, but obviously they've tightened right up on that stuff now. And I'd love to get her in the seat. Yeah, even if we took it out to one of the black tracks for a bit of a skid, and give her a fang. I'm sure I'd get her in there. She'd be hesitant, but I think she'd definitely have a go, and she'd love it for sure. She's a petrol head for sure.
Jace, would you jump in a modified behind the wheel and go do some hot laps, mate?
If I could get in a modified, mate, it'd be a fairly big modified.
He's got a big body one.
We'll put a big modified wig on top of a bloody street stock for you. How's that?
He's talking about this thing called CrossFit. I don't even know what that is. It sounds very physical and just like
it is. Sounds like someone's angry at sport.
I know all about CrossFit. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that stuff. I've seen it in Sydney and everything like that too. And now the new thing is called High Rocks. So that's the next thing. Your other half will know what that is all about too.
Yeah. Bit of a hybrid between a few things, I think.
Yeah, and Books does CrossFit. He does it all the time.
Yeah, I get cross getting fit. Yeah, that's about it. That's it. Hey, listen, Luke, while we've got you, have you got your sponsors there, man? Would you like to give a shout out to your sponsors? We'll let you carry on.
Every time I do this, I miss one out. We've got so many sponsors. One I missed out and forgot to thank was Fast Blast on the weekend. They do all our sandblasting, and those guys have been wicked. But I mean, a couple of our major sponsors, Asematic, Luke and Jim are Asematic. there's a huge supporter of us and what we do. And Luke crewed for us a couple of years back, and then decided to get in it. Brought Jacob Mitchell's X1NZ car, and they're running their car plus also sponsoring us. And it's been a great time having them on board and being able to help them out while he gets going in his car as well. And Tony at Clearview Autoglass, he's always right there. He tows to a lot of the way meetings for us and helps us out right through the season. So big ups to those guys. But we've got so many. Malcolm at Suck It Up, Kane at My New Start, Powder Tech to all our powder coating, Coast Sliding Roofs, one of our North Island supporters and sponsors, Megan Turbo, X-Force CrossFit, the Naked Baker, our local pie shop. The boys, Darren and Andy, we're trying to get them on as a sponsor, literally like a block away. And we're talking to them for ages and ages, and then eventually figured out they were Speedway fans. And once we sort of got them roped up and into it, and they're hilarious. And so we've got them on, and we did a bit of a promo thing through the year with those guys, and had the car down there and got it out. They printed some T-shirts, and so we've got some really good local sponsors. And it's who else is there? Jack Lovelady at Love That Race Car, all our Fox Shocks, Kieran at KH Fabrication. There'll be someone else. Vertec Lubricants, still our lubricants. I think that's it. But we're so lucky to have so many supporters and so many sponsors helping us out, and family as well. It really, honestly, without it, we're just a small team running the car out of the shed, and without that, there's no way we'd be able to do it,
Oh, mate, you lost me at the Naked Baker. I want to come and meet him.
Coffees, man. Man, coffees. Get down there. Get yourself a coffee.
And it's stuff, and we got fat bastard pies. So Naked Bacon, not going to go well together, are they?
So kids wants to go to the naked one, and you go to the fat bastard one. Great. There's a picture of Luke's car. But Luke, we appreciate you taking the time. I did say to you this morning that we'd only be probably 15, 20 minutes with you. We've been about 40, 45 minutes with you, so I hope we haven't inconvenienced you. But we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, mate. We look forward to seeing your progression next year and see where you go as well. And don't be a stranger, basically.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, boys. It's always nice to promote the sport and the class as well. And as a part of what all three of you guys are doing for it, and it just makes it more accessible to all the fans, and they can get involved, and makes them feel like we find with our sponsors, like it just makes them feel like they're a part of something. And if we can give that to them and get them out of the Speedway, get them excited, it's what it's all about, And I mean, like Jace was saying, without the fans in the seat in the stands, then there's no Speedway, So it's as simple as that.
Yeah,
all right, mate.
Yeah. All right,
awesome.
Well, thank you. We'll let you carry on, and we'll hassle Jason now for a bit before we bring in our man Ammz to do his update and see where you have to watch that and see where you are on the Ammz Awards, Luke. See if you're getting up the table now.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. We'll stay in touch, Luke, because we might do a bit of a Legends modified off-season chat with some of the Legend names of the sport.
Get your old man on there as well.
Why not?
Get Greg on, and I'll come on with him. I mean, he'd love to come on and have a chat. And I mean, he's got so many cool stories, and I'm still hearing about some of these old school stories that you just think, how did those guys get by with? Back in the day, it was quite a different time. So definitely that'd be cool.
Awesome, mate.
Well, we'll stay in touch then, mate. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. See ya. There we go. Oh, wow. There we go. We took up more time than I said we'd take up, but I hope that's okay with him. But Jace, mate, your season to date has been not as busy as last year, but it's still been busy. You had a hell of a start to a season technical-wise, didn't you, mate? But you've overcome that, and things are looking forward and looking great. I mean, you've overcome all the technical issues and the stress that comes with it too. And I think we need to specify, Kins, with that there's a lot of stress that comes in behind the scenes as well for the likes of Jason and his crew when things don't go right. People might think, it's stuffed up, but it's not him stuffing up. It's honest things that happen that are out of his control, and he does his best. So, I mean, how have you handled that with that level of stress at the start of the season? And you've recovered quite well, to be fair, Jason.
Well, I didn't, to be fair, and you know that. So, I mean, the start of the season wasn't actually too bad, but we had one of our American suppliers that decided that they were going to make the product, one of the products we were using, which was our paywall, a legacy product, which means end of line. And, they said it was going to happen December this year, this year now. And we thought, we've got a year to sort it out. But then, of course, we had some issues that we couldn't get sorted, which reared its ugly head at the New Zealand Superstocks on night number 2. So that absolutely, well, I don't think I've ever in my life felt like I've been defeated, and I've definitely felt like I was. But some good people, obviously, we mentioned a couple of them at that time. Helped. We got it sorted and all that sort of stuff, but that started a bit of a snowball effect. We changed over to a brand new platform. What took me 8 years to build, I had to build in 3 weeks, for the next event. And then, of course, we exposed ourselves a little bit by having a new platform, and some people within the sport took advantage of that, and we lost a couple of streams here and there. But a long story short, got on top of it, and now we've changed everything about how we stream. Even most people have been commenting about how clear they are, how things have just changed dramatically, and how easy the new platform is and stuff. So onwards and upwards, and I'm not one of those people, as you well know, that sort of dwells on what the past is. Let's move forward. You're only as good as your next stream, and we've had some rippers the last 4. We've had no dramas, no issues. Everything's back to where it should be. But yeah, it's been a very, very tough season, very tough. Probably one of the worst. And I wouldn't say it was not as busy as last year. It's probably just as busy. The only difference is that there's only a couple of 3 times we were running 3 streams. It was definitely, it was definitely busy and taking a bit of a breath now. Got a bonus weekend off this weekend, unfortunately, with what happened with Paul. Bit too much damage under the wall and bits and pieces. And I do want to give a shout out to all those people that were impacted by that, more so the family. Of course, I sponsored Shannon, Paul's boy. Wasn't a great fan of Paul, but I definitely like Shannon. And, but still, unfortunately, it means they had to bring their season to a close. Some great people that were around to support the family in particular. I said it on a live stream the other night, Matt Stewart. What he did for the family and the whole beach and committee and stuff like that was just absolutely phenomenal. And I do want to touch on something that's probably a bit sensitive for you guys, but I am going to touch on Malcolm Nardai, and I'm not going to talk about what happened in that instance, but there's 2 sides to Malcolm Nardai, and not long after we finished this interview, there's a bit of footage that's being released, which I think you will see the other side of Malcolm. The side that we all know, and unfortunately what we seen was not who Malcolm is. He's a guy that helps out a lot of people, so watch that piece of footage. I'm not going to go too much into it, but he was heavily impacted by a couple of things that have happened over the last couple of weeks as well, and the guy does have a heart, trust me. And on that note, move on to next season, and we've already booked all the major stuff, the New Zealand Superstocks, New Zealand Superstock GP, New Zealand Stock Cars, New Zealand Midgets have been booked now as well, which I love the midgets, the cars, that is. So we've got a pretty action-packed season. Obviously, we've got some big rugby games coming up as well, so we've been picked up by a few of the franchises to do a bit of that sort of stuff. So it's all go from here, isn't it?
Yeah. I've seen your updates, Jason. I know some of it really took its toll on you, but like you say, you only just go forward. Forget about what's happened and delve on that. You can be a better person for yourself because you're seen as the leader for the Pits TV with your team who do a lot of work. And if you can continue that forward, you're a better person for it, and you'll be admired by your team workers as well because, hey, like you say, you got 3 vehicles up and down the country. Everyone's up and down the country helping out deliver the streams, and that's the best way you can do is go up and see Jason, the team, and say thank you if you ever see them around the tracks, because those 2 little words mean a lot, especially if you don't see what happens behind the scenes. I know exactly what you're talking about with the world I live in my media world, and I know it can be stressful, but you only can just grow bigger. That's why I'm great.
It amazes me. I'm not going to be negative about it, but it just amazes me the lies that people spin, and you'd be well and truly involved in that. And, the only mistake I've ever made is being a front person for the Pits TV. It is a massive crew. There's 30 of us, 30 people that make it happen. There is more than 3 vehicles. There's 3 broadcast vehicles, but there's all the vehicles associated with that. And our flights alone would pay somebody's salary for 2 years in a year. You know, what we spend in a year, you know, it's a massive thing. But the only reason why I put myself in front of everybody is because when you go and stream with somebody else or with Sky, there's no front person. There's no one you can go to and vent your frustration to, no nothing. So I wanted to make sure that people knew that we actually gave a shit and we didn't want to, you know, to blow them off, or not that we know. And Books will tell you, man, he sees the amount of work that we do. You know, the environment changes. It's live. It's live television, and the environment changes. You know, Book goes and tests the microphone, works good, goes and turns it on, starts crackling. You know, because there might have been a Wi-Fi computer that was turned on that wasn't turned on, or, you know, that's all it takes. And so, yeah, it's just a bit more, I suppose. I don't want to be that front person anymore. You'll start seeing me taking a bit more of a backward step, and you'll see a couple of these other people that work for us coming to the fore. You know, let them be the front people for it, and not let them get the crap that goes with it, but certainly allow them to be able to be, you know, let people see that it's more than just one person, you know.
Yeah, mate. You got to be thick-skinned, eh? You got to be tough and
like
take
liver.
it as it is.
It's like liver.
Oh, you got to be. You know, there's not much leather to me, but I deal with it. You know, I've got a Heartland Rugby Championship to live stream coming up during the rugby season. You talked about it. You've got your rugby stuff to do as well, and yeah, when it works, it works. You test that microphone. Yeah, it's all ready to go. Let's go and have a break. Come back. Get ready to go live. And what the hell? I was like, what happened? Did someone have a to-do with it? Leave the bloody thing alone. But yeah. Anyway,
and then of course, you know, even new Books, you know, you've had a dodgy microphone lead there not long ago, you know, and it sounded all right to you, but it sounded like crap to us, you know. So I mean, that's all it takes, and just that's what happens when it's live. You can't sort of say, look, wait 10 minutes while we fix it and come back, you know. So, but you know, it's good. We've got a few events still to go. We'll be up there with Books, obviously, in a couple of weekends' time to do the Autumn Nationals, which I've never done before and I've always had a bit of an interest in. And we couldn't get a ferry crossing because obviously New Zealand stuff when it comes to transportation around the place. And so we couldn't get one to the 19th of April. And so I thought, well, you know, hang on the 18th, there's the Autumn Nationals. So I give Regan a call and go, oh yeah, come on, you know, bring her on. So, and that was kind of all done. And then, then we'll get into the Superstock teams. And of course the North Island sprint cars potentially. I'm not sure what's going to happen there because they've had such a crap run, the ball buggers. I just feel for them. What do you do? What do you say? You know, it's just been a horrible season for them. And you know, I said to Bruce at the start of the season, I think you're going to find it tough this year. Didn't mean to be accurate, and probably, you know, Jesus Christ, crazy. Yeah,
100%. All right, mate. Always good to see you. Let you go back to your half-cut lawns with the vodka and
I'm going to go
the
Shortland
Street. Oh, so, that's right. Sorry to keep you from Shortland Street.
Absolutely.
Oh,
it should be. You know,
Street. You know, Kins has got family that was in Shortland Street. Eh?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, he's the. I've still got. You remember Delphi from back in the day? We still got an original Ferndale school uniform. We got the fake food. He was the police officer in there. Yeah. My kids have been in that show. Anyway, that's another story, mate. We're not here to talk about that.
I got a signed T-shirt from all the crew, all the staff, all the actors and stuff on my wall in my bar. So yeah. All right, you good boys, enjoy yourselves, and Books, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and cheers, team, eh? Right,
easy peasy. Cheers, Jason.
Thank you. See ya. Had to talk Shortland Street, eh?
Shortland Street, yeah, I know. You boys and your bloody Shortland Street. Well, let's get on. We're getting past to get close to our time, so we'll get our man in here. There he is, young Ammz, to do his final update before the last weekends, and there's no more updates after this because all the points get added and we move into our awards, a ceremony that will happen at a later date, mate.
Yeah, that's right, boys. And I tell you what, I'm sure if Jay said stayed on, man, I'm sure the alarm bells would have been ringing, man, because I can assure you when I come on, it's usually 2 Hories and Booker. But if Jay said stayed on, it would have been 3 Hories and Booker. That's a story for another day. But anyway, boys, the dreaded Easter cutoff has arrived, and I've been banging on the last couple of weeks. If you follow me, for those that follow me on my Only Ammz Facebook page will know that I talked about it for the last couple of weeks. And the only reason why I do that, for those who don't get an understanding, is because how I do all these points and things for the Pokeno Auto Centre Speedway Awards of Excellence is I follow the blueprint that is used for the Dally M Awards. You know, if you're familiar with rugby league, and Kins is familiar with rugby league, you know all about that type of stuff. And they usually go 2/3 playing through the season, guys, before they do the points in secrecy. So I think from what I saw the other day, after round 12 of the NRL, all public viewings will go in secrecy. And, you know, because I'm just following the same blueprint, I've adapted to do the same thing. So our Easter weekend has arrived, boys. So from here onwards to the end of the season, points will go in secrecy. And in the next time race fans will see it, we will announce our winning recipients for the 25-26 season for the Pokeno Auto Centre Speedway Awards of Excellence. Boys, we have arrived at the end of week 23. And, you know, it's probably hard to feel that because the Speedway season's just gone so fast. But, yeah, believe it or not, boys, 23 weeks have gone of competition for these awards deals. And we won't hold anybody up. We'll get straight into it with the Alan Wakeling medalist for the sprint cars. Kins, if you're able to bring that up real quick. And, of course, capitalising off winning the New Zealand Sprint Car Grand Prix at Ruapuna just a couple of weeks back, Jonathan Allard has reclaimed the lead. And having a solid weekend at over Easter weekend just gone was Zach Sokol, boys. He won the King of the Cromwell Sprint Car event there. That was run over 2 nights. And I can assure you, man, he got a massive point haul from that one to move up to second. Jacob McIntyre just -2 there. Gus Dawson, he's been quite the surprise package over the last couple of weeks as well. Josh Buchanan to round out the top 5. Connor Rangi, Rodney Wood, Matt Levisage, and Keegan Darm, which we haven't seen for quite a while. He's back into the top 10, as well as Daniel Thomas, the current New Zealand champion. Your top 10 for the Alan Wakeling medalist for sprint car racing excellence. We move on now to the Tony Cardwell medalist for super saloon racing excellence. And I'd say it's quite a foregone conclusion at the moment. But hey, as I've mentioned over the last couple of years I've been doing that, anything can happen. You know, in these last couple of weeks, boys, we don't know just yet. But hey, for the meantime, he is the prince in waiting, 171 points atop the chart for the meantime. Grant Flynn in second there. Well, we can probably make it a Flynn-a-thon there to round out the podium. Grant and Steve, second and third respectively. Mark Osborne there still in touch there in fourth. As we know, boys, he's sold his car now. And Ashton Osborne as well rounding out the top 5. Peter Benson was the biggest mover of the weekend, boys. Did you know he done Palmy and then he trekked over to Blenheim and Nelson. 3 consecutive nights of racing by massive points all for him to come from outside the top 10 to make it in. And he sits in 6th spot. For the meantime, Damien Orr, Jacob Flynn, George Crawford, which we know we've been talking about him all season long, guys, you know, the youngster, and Thomas Stanaway to round out the top 10 for the Tony Cardwell medalist for Super Saloon Racing Excellence. Moving on now to the Peter Rees medalist for Stock Car Racing Excellence. Christchurch fans will be happy to know Harley Robb has reclaimed the lead in the Stock Car medalist points chase. Just a couple of points there ahead of Daniel Burmeister, who's in second. Jack Rurity, he had a solid weekend as well. Boys, I need to mention this because quite a lot of the points changes this week has been drivers benefiting from the Easter weekend racing. And for some of those guys, as we just mentioned in the last one, they've done 3 consecutive nights of racing, some capitalising Woodford Glen on the Friday, and they'll switch over to Blenheim Saturday and then finish off at Nelson on the Sunday. So massive points haul for those guys. None more so than Jack Rarity and Troy Cleveland, boys. Massive points haul from those guys. Sam Wright there still in touch. I think that car might be sold. Could be wrong. I did see another number on it on the weekend. Caleb Ireland, you'll do current New Zealand champion, still in touch. Josh Mulcahy, been doing good things out of Palmerston North. Royden Winstanley, Clinton Cheatham, the cowbells still ringing there at the bottom of the points charts. And Will Pilcher, your new entrance there into the top 10 for the Peter Rees medalist for Stock Car Racing Excellence. Moving on now to the Roger Bertram Modified Award for by Pokeno Auto Centre. Big thank you to Brett Parsons coming on to support that initiative. And probably just no difference there to the Tony Cardwell medalist Brad Lane. Seems like just a foregone conclusion, boys. But as I said, anything can happen over these last couple of weeks as the tracks start to round up the end of the season with the season finale events. Newton Gorge there in second, Jason Kalin in third as well. Luke Keegan, he moves up a couple of spots there to fourth after his dominating display at Woodford Glen on the weekend just gone. Cody Hutter, Brett Parsons, Aidan Crawford, Ruben Brown, Kane Botherway, and Sam Keeling. Sam Keeling doing very well there in the 199H modified to round out the top 10 for the Roger Bertram medalist brought to you by Pokeno Auto Centre. And our last segment for the evening will see us with the Shane Penn medalist for Superstock Racing Excellence, Todd Hemingway. We know he's been the form driver all season, boys, and his points haul would show that. But I tell you what, having a solid weekend at Paradise Valley on the weekend with Scott Tennant, as we would have seen on social media as well. He won the Bad Plenty Superstock Championship on night one of the Easter Champs there, and as a consequence, he got extra points because of that, and he also finished in the podium the following night as well. Dale Robertson didn't really have a good night at Palmerston North. I think that might be his season done. Not too sure here. Shane Harwood, he had a strong weekend as well. Cody McKee, Alex Hill, William Humphreys, Hamish Booker, Malcolm Ngatai, and Jaden Ward to round out the top 10 for the Shane Penn medalist for Superstock Racing Excellence team. That's me for, I don't know when you guys will see me next, but I'll tell you what, I will drop the details on when we will finalise those details for the awards gala coming up at the end of the season, and we'll be looking to try get round up some good guests for that as well, team. But I guess people won't have to put up with my ugly face anymore, so they'll get back to seeing you two guys at the top. But team, if anything, it's a super privilege always to be a part of the show, to be able to display and can convey these points and stuff on a week-to-week basis. Some. Not so week to week, but as I said, it's just been an absolute privilege of being on board with you guys throughout this season, and I look forward to wrapping up this points deal in a couple of weeks, and we'll be able to announce our winning recipients, team. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, Book. But you know, mate, it's a lot of work that goes on. We all know that. We know you're busy. You got family stuff. You got your weekday working stuff. You got your Pits TV commitments, but you still make time somewhere in amongst all of it to collate these points. It's not an easy thing. So I think on behalf of the viewers out there and the people that are associated in the classes you've selected, everyone's been in their point circle over those weeks. We've been talking to it, 23 weeks from what you said from memory. It's a lot of work, but, it's thank you to you, to your passion, your drive. And I've seen also the videos on your page, specifically with the track that you've been associated with, sharing that history. So I know from within your brain what you bring is a lot of knowledge and a lot of passion, and it's commended to you as well, bro. So thank you for your work and using us as a platform to deliver the points, and we'll definitely keep in touch in the next few weeks, eh?
Yep, no worries, boys. The pleasure has been all mine's, team, and likewise, you guys, the race fans out there, that I only do it as long as you guys are willing to have me do it, and you guys are the reason why I do it. So, and a big shout out to all the drivers who hold me to rank, man. Every week I get a lot of messages from drivers saying what points they're on, but hey, just means there's a genuine interest in all this stuff. So it's all worthwhile in the end, boys. Not that I look forward to waking up like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. every Sunday to do it, but.
Did you see Maru's comment in Ammz?
I did, yeah.
I
need to remind Maru that, actually.
There's his comment, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. What's that?
I put up a post on my Only Ammz page last week, I think when I was at Woodford Glen, saying that was my last broadcast. So I was wrong. I actually told a lie, and by all accounts, I think I might be coming up to Miani in a couple of weeks for the Autumn Nationals. So
you are. Do you go on the screen?
Mandy, I'd love a trifle made for me, my friend. Maru, if you're able to pass Mandy.
I'm heading over on the weekend, bro, to pick it up for you.
Spoons. Just need to make sure there's 2 spoons, one for me and one for my made-up top books, and I can make it free.
We're going to sit in the car park and eat trifle and drink beer.
Yeah, all that anyway, but As I said before, team, thank you for having me on board once again. And we look forward to wrapping up all these points thing in a couple of weeks, and then we can announce some worthy recipients for sure.
Awesome, bro. Take care, bro.
Cheers, Ammz.
Make me bloody hungry looking at that hangi behind him, eh? So when's the when's your event? Autumn, that's 18th, is it? Not this weekend?
Not this weekend, next weekend, yes. So he's coming up with TV, do that as well.
Bugger, we got the closing night of Huntley. Yeah, I'll be tight about Huntley closing. Yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the big show. I tell you what, it was a pleasure to talk with Luke Keegan, a guy, and I see his wife's right up on the page, very humble, but man, a guy with a lot of years of knowledge and well-spoken, well delivered on the show as well. And the passion he has for the big body modified is pretty well shared and liked by him, obviously. Big thanks to Jace. Always good to see Jace and catch up with him on the show. And talk about the overall season, a few more meetings for him. Keep an eye on their page. And to wrap it up, that kind of wraps us up as part of the round robin build-up on the points for the Only Ammz Awards Speedway of Excellence. Like he says, very similar to the NRL Dally M's, where he'll take a break, collate the points in private in those categories, and then we'll catch up with them soon with the worthy recipients and the lucky winners from each one. One's just about a foregone conclusion. The Super
I think there's a
Saloons.
couple there that foregone conclusions, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, be safe. Be prepared for the so-called cyclone that's arriving over the weekend.
Yes, stay
thinking
safe.
Thinking of those at the V8s in Taupo over the weekend. They've got Christchurch next weekend, but I don't know. They never get a break with some decent weather with the V8s. Every time they seem to come here, one of those days tended to be wet. No doubt on the TV you'll see a few Speedway fans rocking up to the track just down the road. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And we'll see you back. Carl, we're all good, mate. Thanks, Darren. We're all good, mate. That's us. Bye-bye.
Thanks, team. See ya. Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot now.